105.5 Triple M, the sound of Madison.
Hi everybody, it's Jonathan Sutton, morning guy at 105.5 Triple M. Welcome to Whiskey and Words 2020. It obviously has a different feel this year as we're going virtual. Do you see me tapping on the glass there? We're going to have a fun time tonight though, and don't forget you can donate and take a look at the link right there, or maybe it's over there or right on my face. Just look for the www dot. That's where you donate. We're so proud to be connected to Madison Reading Project, and what a great evening we're going to have together. Before we start, we should thank our sponsors, which include Old Sugar Distillery, Steve's Wine, Beer, and Spirits, Alvarado Real Estate Group, and Star Liquor. And now let's go to someone slightly more responsible than me, the founder and director of the Madison Reading Project, Rowan Childs. Take it away, Rowan. This is my imaginary glass.
Hi, I'm Rowan Childs, founder and director of Madison Reading Project. Welcome to Whiskey and Words. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you to our amazing poets and spoken word artists. And thank you so much to our sponsors. A little bit about Madison Reading Project. We're a nonprofit that provides free books and literacy programming to children, families, and educators across southern Wisconsin. We're thrilled that you're going to be part of our fundraiser and event this evening. Normally we would be doing this in person and we'd give snaps to all of the poets and it would be a really fun night. So we're gonna make it fun no matter what. So grab a drink or a tea and enjoy the show. Thank you to our sponsors, Steve's Wine, Beer, and Spirits on University Avenue. Thank you to our sponsors, Star Liquor. Thank you to our sponsor, Old Sugar Distillery. Thank you to Alvarado Real Estate Group for sponsoring Whiskey and Words.
Okay, thanks very much, Rowan. Here we go with our first artist. Now, when it comes to bios, if you ask my bio, it would probably say something like, he plays records. And that would pretty much be it. But our first artist today, her bio is much more impressive. And in fact, I just want to read it to you. Her name is Araceli Werner. I'm faculty for Hugo House and the Loft Literary Center. She's a We Need Diverse Books program volunteer. She's a book reviewer for Shelf Awareness. Okay, she's already done like so many more things than I've done in the 20 years I've been here. I have contributed print, photography, and video content to Fabulous Wisconsin, Black and Green, Brava, Madison Magazine, and Entrepreneurial Chef. She cooks too. I'm also the founder of the Little Book Project Wisconsin, which is a community arts and nonprofit biannual collaboration. She's passionate to holistic wellness, sustainable agriculture. She's a Midwestern girl at heart and a Madison resident. Way to make me feel like this big. Okay, seriously though, Rachel, we're very impressed and I can't wait to hear what you've got for us today. Oh, I have it right here. She is going to read Plague and Not Your Mama's Orphan. Take it away, Rachel.
Hi, I'm Araceli Werner. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Thank you to 105.5 for hosting this annual event, this year though virtually. And thank you so much for every single person watching this video. Thank you for supporting Madison Reading Project throughout these challenging times. This year I'm going to share 3 new pieces of poetry I've written while we've been in quarantine throughout the pandemic. It's been some interesting months for all of us in different ways. We've had to come to a reckoning with some pretty intense racial tensions throughout our country and really around the globe. So some of my work also touches upon that as well. The first piece is called Plague. The world stopped, but nor would I. My spirit continued, said the passers-by. The first was a woman I did not know. Her solace was a needle, branding her Jane Doe. Second came a man knotting a noose, offering up his life in a scapegoat's truce. Dashing past they saw 3 children join in, seeking to be rescued from parental contempt. Oblivious all agreed, I hastened on, as our fates rested in the palm of a con. Days became weeks, and further I ran, fraught to escape death's merciless plan. Eventually I stumbled before sheltered eyes, mass gagging mouths, stifling fevered cries. Gavels held reprieve upon all our reach, tomb silencing voices urging freedom of speech. Pushed to return home, anger bloomed inside, privilege pulling rank while the innocent died. Cities closed by order, I was trapped indoors, our lives now pawns in political wars. My body remained, but I rarely spoke, fixated on avoiding anyone not woke. My second piece is called Not Your Mama's Orphan. A pocket of solace. Who's that? Where's that? Someone threw me a rope, a rhyme, a release, said the ancestors, mocked then erased, by the blood others spilt. By Papa stumbled, Mama grew strong. In spirit, though her body broke, bequeathing us property, quickly sold and misused, persecution, survival's tariff, purging knowledge for acceptance. Is it selling out if you're leveling up? 'Cause I sure did. Silencing kin through ascension, denying a past like quicksand, smothering generations in the end. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I hope you enjoy the rest of the acts, and maybe you'll share the video after it's posted live. Please donate, help us continue to provide books here in the Madison area. Bye-bye.
Well done, Rachel. Thank you so much. And heed her words. Please donate. That's what we're all here for today, to raise money. And be sure to share this with your friends too, because you know what? They'll probably give more than you anyway. Let's continue now. Our next artist is James P. Roberts. He's a longtime Madison bon vivant. Hopefully I said that right. And his most recent work is called 100 Breaths. It was published by Portage Press in June of this year. And now let's, I was forgetting something. I have this awesome hat that I was going to wear. You know which one I mean? The one with the big feather? Does anybody know where that is? Okay, never mind. Anyway, take it away, James.
Greetings. I am James P. Roberts, and I am delighted to be able to participate once again in the Whiskey and Words fundraiser for the Madison Reading Project. I am being filmed today here at the Arts and Literature Laboratory in their brand new location at 111 South Livingston. And this is a beautiful space. My videographer is Rita Mae Reese. Today I will be reading a poem from my new collection, 100 Breaths, which was published by Portage Press and was selected as the 2020 winner of the Portage Press Poetry Book Competition. This poem is called The Earthquake People. I wander among huddled clots, perched in forlorn, shocked silence. Piles of rubble loom on all sides. Somewhere nearby, water flows from a broken pipe. Muddy rivulets soak my feet, clad only in tennis shoes. All I had time to don, apart from a torn black t-shirt and blue jeans, before the low-roofed house where I've been staying collapsed. A rumble I will forever hear, no matter how many days are left. It is the faces I look at, men and women, etched in stark colors, these people of an earthquake land, lives riven in mere moments. I have never noticed until now the difference in silences, as if each one has an assigned weight. The heavier the silence, the stonier the face I see. Even the dusky babies, cocooned in mother's strong arms, have stilled tongues. I cannot bear the sight. Massed thousands dot the ruined city. Some work, pull at brick mounds, piece by piece. A conveyor belt of hands free the air to search for bodies. But quiet, so quiet. Smoke rises from burning places, trapped beneath bunched gray clouds with a hint of coming snow. The silence is broken by a grunt loud as a rifle shot. More grunts, then a shout. A wave of shouts surge forth. Heads lift, hands reach to pull from darkness. An infant girl, naked, bloodied, but still alive. Thank you.
Thanks so much, James. And you know what? You can keep the hat. You're watching Whiskey and Words 2020. This is a fundraiser for the Madison Reading Project. Did you catch that part? Fundraiser. Please donate to the link below. Thank you. Now let's continue. Up next, we have Madison's very own Poet Laureate. You know, I applied for that job. When they gave me the little sheet, they told me to rhyme something with orange. Not fair. Anyway, our Madison Poet Laureate is Angie Trudell Vasquez. She is a fabulous writer, has many things published. You can find her all over the place. Her latest work, her third collection, is called In Light, Always Light. It came out in May of last year. Let's enjoy it now. Take it away, Madison's Poet Laureate.
Hello, my name is Angie Trudell Vasquez, and I am the Madison Poet Laureate. I am reading from my collection, In Light, Always Light. The first poem is called Space Time. 1. We are magic dying, pink peonies gasp tight, ants assist open petals. No peony exists without ministrations of light. Brick wall frames space between drive. A garden of red clay pots brightens balcony. All balconies lit with green light caress eyes. Eyes mystery, upset images transform and skull. How we got here is fought over in courtrooms. People pretend to be God, brandish fire sticks. Hands, tools, nails, weapons. A newborn is a garden of purple heirloom potatoes. An angel reads minds from her high chair, babbles. Mother feeds child, smashed orange skin, sweet potatoes with tiny spoon. We are most vulnerable when we sit at the table with fork and knife. 2. Early rose-light calls from window, jackrabbits bound, flight occurs on ground. Where are my crow friends? Hawk brown circles, school bathe in blue light. Students descend stairs, fade into brilliance. Talk's done, talk begins. Black pen scratches white paper. Mind waxes, sheds peacock feathers. How do you begin to think mired in thought and self-doubt? Walk clears canvas, blank sheets beg. Pull feet to mountain, ascend. This next poem is a sound poem, and I'd urge you to close your eyes. Soundscape. Plane engines whir, leaves clap, footsteps crush, red earth crunch, dry twigs laugh, tiny bird chirps, gecko scramble, water splashes, hand-carved rose, corn bathing grows, fan whirs behind, sidewalk voices float, disembodied hello lands near, bees buzz, cackle, wings hover, fly wings trickle, water soaks, red earth drinks, whippoorwill calls, motorcycles buzz, water calls out, roadrunner scratches, tree leaf quakes, cool breeze blows, hair joins chorus, wind whistles ears, farmer kneels, knee hits ground, plants leap, crab apples drop, red earth receives, ants march to feed. Coneflowers. Wildflowers lift the interstates, flood me with amethyst, aqua, crimson, amber, dying emerald leaves and golden forests. I inhale red maples flashing, feel the crunch and squish beneath the tires. The roots crack seams, beaten by semi-wheels and 40 below. And a blue coneflower pulses next to a crane, harvesting the shoulder. This is called Wild Prayer. And imagine a blue lake. Wild Prayer. Brown earth floors, breathe feet, sweaty bodies. We glow, glisten, meet, leaping in mid-flight. The swivel in the mirror. We are magic dying. blooming in our bodies, bare souls touch dead trees, arms raise, carry, twist, praise all that sings, praise goddess monkey teacher from up north, who left to dance on hallowed ground, on the edge of blue sky lakes with sisters round and round. And I'm going to close with the poem Wheel Kids for my neighborhood children. Wheel Kids. Chocolate children race down the cul-de-sac, tight curls bounce, jeans, t-shirts rise with air, clenched fist, tape bars, tennis shoe breaks, no brakes. A shout, they cruise out of sight of the window, bikes, scooters shake, quake, skinny kid, arms, legs, torsos, skin flattens, neighbors straight arrows, shooting stars, flesh flies, bodies grow wings. Thank you, and I'm Angie Trudell Vasquez, your Madison Poet Laureate. Thanks so much.
She's right. That was better with your eyes closed. Were your eyes closed? If you're driving right now, I hope your eyes weren't closed. And if you're driving right now, how are you watching this? You must have a cool rig. All right, so we are doing Whiskey and Words 2020. They haven't kicked me off yet, probably in the next 10 minutes or so. But we have many different artists sharing with us their work. And the whole point of this is to raise money for the Madison Reading Project. So please donate. Next up is an artist perfect for this time. He's based in Peoria, Illinois. His name is Brian, one of many, Somerville. And he wrote something that I just thought, he wrote a lot of stuff that you're about to hear, but something that he gave to me that I thought was great. He says this: "My only fear is failing to spark that one brain that will spark another brain to change the world, just like Tupac sparked mine." Brian, well said. Take it away.
Who am I? I am one of many who fit the description. There he is, one of many who saw, but can't quite say what I witnessed, because I, like many black men, am not allowed to play the victim, and that's a fact. But now that the back of the monkey is broken, and everyone's supposedly awoken, I gotta ask, what's the big deal? But no, I'm asking for real, because if your solutions are exclusive to those in collusion with your illusion, what's my freedom of speech really proving? But no, I'm asking for real, at least on behalf of those mass incarcerated with hopes of an appeal. Meanwhile, generating generational labor without a savior. To defeat these odds, it's gonna take more than a warrior's prayer. Yet again, I am one of many of the men attempting to fix what was intentionally broke to begin. So no, the laughs I get never sever my strength as I stride on a path lit from lights heaven sent, guiding my lines and strokes and designs, only to reveal life and death are both divine. No regrets, as I expect many to object when submitting to subjects of signing lines and cashing checks, where no matter the amount, you know you settle for less. That's the battle with life itself. And well, life goes. I suggest you do what's best for self, because I am one of many with wise words, but lies submerge in temptation of lies and urge. One of many denied of my worth, who refuse to roll over and die with this curse. If it's better you than me, well, you first. Speak life or say less is a motto I live by, where illegal activity becomes a means of getting by. Judge all, love none. It's like a new religion. Everyone's possessed with it, including children. Am I the only one, or of many, to resist the life of presenting material things on behalf of greed and women? That's not to diminish the feeling, but if there's a hole, those things won't fill it. So this from the heart, with love, handle your business, for it will be one of many of your surviving decisions. Life is learned when court is adjourned, and hindsight is 2020, which happens to be the year of the germ. Imagine this: 2 lives exist, real life versus real life, then you realize your life is the pick. So when the credits roll, leverage your load in hopes of blessing those invested in your goals. See, a dollar next to gold is the equivalent of love spelled with X's and O's. Commitment is my strategy for single success. When strong enemies are disguised as less of a threat. Because I am one of many, uncompromised in my role of reversing the genocide. But through affiliations I become awakened. and for the most part forsaken, because most of our leaders have taken the bacon. I pass no judgment. Eat what you kill, reap what you sow. Pray as you will, for I am one of many. Speak life. Love is love. Let's work. Y'all got the whiskey. We got the words. Toast up. To Roland, to the Madison Reading Project, I want to thank you for having me. I am again one of many of the men fighting, freeing, without fleeting, 10 toes down, representing what we got to represent to progress a culture, the forgotten fruit. I just want to thank you for your ears. Thank you for your time. If it wasn't enough, please log on to mkt.com/LESSWORK. Thank y'all for having me again. If I'm last, thank you guys. If I'm first, y'all in for a ride. And if anybody's after me, I want to say thank you. I will be listening, and y'all stay right there. Keep it locked. Let's work.
I hope you're enjoying the show. If you want more information, you can visit our website, madisonreadingproject.com. And if you'd like to make a donation, check out the link below.
Thanks so much, Rowan. And let's take a moment to thank our sponsors again for making Whiskey and Words possible. It includes Old Sugar Distillery, Steve's Wine, Beer, and Spirits, Star Liquor, and Alvarado Real Estate Group. Which one of these is not like the other? They're all great. Just saying 3 of them are like drink-related ones, real estate. Okay, this is Whiskey and Words 2020. Please make your donations. Let's continue now with Leslie Coff. She is delightful. She has her own podcast, which is called Breathing Out Stars, that you can download on Spotify and everywhere else podcasts live, which is pretty much everywhere. So here's Leslie now.
I'm Leslie Coff. I'll be reading The Hot Sauce Bride. I cooked obsessively during the funeral. If you stop, and look at the screen, then the others can see the tears streaming down your face. And I just didn't want that. I didn't want them to read my face. So I made a pumpkin pie and dumpling soup and baguettes, comfort food to comfort the cook. It was a Zoom funeral. That man there is his middle son, I told my mother, and that one speaking, it is his son. And so I narrated, and cut vegetables, and toasted pecans, and hid my grief. It was like losing my father all over again. When I was 7 years old, this man shook my hand and stole my heart. He demonstrated to me how 6 million grass seeds represented the number of my people that had been killed, and how my family had died among them. When I was 12, he taught me to look at the back of the room from the stage while speaking. Imagine near the ceiling, he said, way up there, that you can see the words slow, loud, clear. Imagine that they are there, and deliver your message that way. Slow, loud, clear. It was a way to deliver a message, and it was a way to live a life. When I was 16, we jogged together at dawn through cornfields. When I was 19, he wrote me letters in college. When I was 25, he flew to California to officiate our wedding. We had breakfast with him. I ordered huevos rancheros with extra Tabasco, I said. Wow, he said, I have never seen a bride eat like that on her wedding day. He told me at the ceremony that I had an extra soul. He told my groom that he was industrious. Over the next few years, we saw him bringing 1 baby with us, then 2 babies, then 3. And when it had been 25 years, I called him. I know that voice, he said. I have missed you, my friend. I have missed you too, I said. And so it was on our 25th anniversary that he married us again, this time on his turf, and this time holding up the poles at the corners of our chuppah, our wedding canopy, were our children. Do you still love hot sauce? He asked. Yes, I love it. He turned to my children. Because in all my years doing this work, your mother is the only one I have ever met who had huevos rancheros with extra hot sauce the morning of her wedding. And for 25 years, I have been telling everyone about the hot sauce bride. And then we laughed and we went to lunch. Over the next few years, we lunched a bit more. I stopped by his house when I was in town for this or that. He would comment on my work and direct me to learn from my children. A few weeks ago, I got a call from his son. Dad is in hospice. Please come. It was just before dawn when I left the next morning, driving this time, but again through cornfields. I arrived at the house. I sat at his feet. I have loved you my whole life, I told him. He picked at the bed linens. I stayed 10 minutes. I drove back. He had taught me about light in people's eyes. He had taught me about light in people's souls. He had taught me about boycotts and fighting for rights. He had taught me about genocide. He taught me about speaking slow, loud, and clear, and living my life slow, loud, and clear. He taught me most of all how to connect with and encourage a young heart and mind, and how to inspire, and what the heck to do with an extra soul, and how to keep moving. If you stop, and look at the screen, then the others can see the tears streaming down your face. And I just didn't want that. Zichronot Tzadik Livracha, may the memory of the most righteous be a blessing. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Leslie. Let's continue now. Whiskey and Words 2020. Some great entertainment tonight, inspiring as well. And we hope it inspires you to make a donation, please, to the Madison Reading Project. Let's continue now with Araceli Esparza. She is a Latino woman who has done a really good job of bridging the cultural gap for Latino women and many different people in the community. And thankfully, she got us outside. Let's breathe some fresh air together.
Hello, my name is Araceli Esparza. Welcome to Whiskey and Words. And I'm here to tell you a little bit about why I do this project every year. Let me tell you a story. It wasn't until I was in my 20s that I read my first Chicano Latino picture book. What I mean is that it wasn't until my 20s that I read a children's picture book that was authored by a person of Latino descent. I remember when it happened. I was at the Latino conference at UW-Madison, Wisconsin, and Gloria Anzaldúa had just written her second picture book called Prietita and the Ghost Woman. At the time, I didn't understand why a prolific Chicana writer like Gloria Anzaldúa would write a children's book. Now I look back to this moment and I understand that she was being progressive in writing a diverse picture book. But let me tell you some facts that might astound you as far as why it's so important that projects like Madison Reading Project continue. In my research, I found that Latino and Chicano picture books are not published at the same rate that is representative of the Latino population in the United States. A report by the Cooperative Children's Book Center at the University of Wisconsin-Madison states that only 3% of children's books are authored by or about Latinos, even though we represent nearly a quarter of all public school children in the United States currently. Even as a very young child, I remember I would read picture books like Cinderella, Snow White, Little Red Riding Hood. I was told these stories, right, growing up, but none of them had to do with the real life that I was facing with my grandmother, mi abuelita, mis tías, my uncles and my cousins and my sisters, the stories that they would tell us about La Llorona, El Cucuy, about all of these historical and folkloric stories that had to do with my culture. However much I would write, I would never find those stories within the pages of a book that you would order through school or on the shelves of a neighborhood library. Picture books carry the seeds of identity and develop slowly in small doses throughout a story. For young adults like myself in that time, multicultural adult literature was a gateway for understanding race, class, and gender. And now I implore that all of us continue with that tradition of diversity in children's books as well. The following poems deal with children's literature in unique ways, and I hope you enjoy them as well. This first poem is about loyalty and gender. It's called Just Hold Me Again. I just missed you today. You left this morning to school. I stayed all day here on your bed. Looking at your drawings were all that I had to remind me that you were coming back. I could see your clothes on and off places of your room. I remember when you took me on your bike and we flew down the hill. I was wearing the pink butterfly outfit and you had the new dress Mama had bought you. Hugging you and you telling me stories and me being in your stories are the moments where I come alive. Without you, I'm a toy, a donkey with a pink bow, possibly flammable, yet a soft plush toy. Even though others know me as Eeyore, you made me lump and decided that my blue outside was no indication of who I was because you called me she. My next poem is called Parties, Weddings, and a Stolen Kiss. Let's see if you can figure out where this poem comes from. Fiestas, bodas, and a stolen kiss. Coming from the highway jungles of Jersey to a faraway island of warm breezes of Santo Domingo, away from the packed streets, swarms of gente and smells of poverty, to the flashy sun, tropical trees, and the clean beaches, and the streets are the same, but the hope is still here. Who am I kidding? I'm just here for the parties, vestidos cortos, y tacones altos, and all the guapos, flowing from one relative to another friend's house, and fiesta, not caring who I am today, but careful and respectful in every way. Stealing kisses from cute guys, common courtesy turned opportunity, airplanes, taxis, and tennis, climbing new streets, looking for that night beat to escape the heat. Click-clack down to the dusty road to mi abuelo's rancho, nothing but an old house, one cow, a blind duck, and a black pig. Mi abuelo tells me about everyone's chisme from the island this year. He asks me if I plan to stay. I say I can only stay long enough for one moon, and then I have to go home. He asks me if I like school. I tell him the same thing I tell him every year. Not as much as I like it here with you, abuelito. Then he laughs, his toothless smile, and calls me una traviesa. I love him and all mi familia, mi casa isla, my island home of holy Sundays. My last poem is a little bit more serious. It's a poem that I write for folks like us who indulge in children's literature, who either advocate or support children's literature, and oftentimes we don't see ourselves as anything but maybe somebody that likes to write for children's literature or children's books. But I propose that we are something more than that. For those who write for children, we are the guardians of warm milk and cookies, of cubbyhole readings. We illuminate fairies and glow in the night tales. We write for those who might not remember us, but who will never forget that first feeling. Our audience doesn't write for back break. Sorry. I'm going to take it for the top of the poem. Those who write for children, we are the guardians of warm milk and cookies and cubbyhole reading. We illuminate fairies and glow in the night tales. We write for those who might not remember us, but who will never forget that first feeling. Our audience doesn't write thank you letters. They might not even know how to read or write, but they listen and they feel and they fear with terror at the hands of evil. And we are the guardians of those magical places, friendships, and good life. The children who hear our stories need our words more than we need them. They crave for that escape from the cruelty reality that fate has dealt them. We aren't the police, we aren't teachers or the social workers. We come into their lives unknowingly. We slip in their tiny hearts something powerful, hope. Hope against the rapist, hope against the molester, hope against the abuser, hope against the beater, hope against the alcoholic, hope against the drugs, hope against that next slap, that next cuss word, hope for the next time they see the sunlight of hope, for the next time they live through this moment of pain. We write for children, we write for hope. Guardians, that's us. Thank you again for joining us for Whiskey and Words. Please support Madison Reading Project. Thank you again. Bye-bye.
Thanks very much, Araceli. Now, I want to remind people that you may be watching this live right now and making a donation. But if you're watching this later when it's not live and you think, oh, it's too late for me to donate, wrong! You can still donate at the link below for the Madison Reading Project. This is Whiskey and Words 2020. Now we're on to our final artist of the evening. I can't believe it. It's totally flying by. Barry Wein is going to read us a new story that he's created. He has a knack for making us laugh, but also making us think. Take it away, Barry.
Hi, I'm Barry Wein, and this is a new short story I've written called The Memory Palace. Zoe was spending a good chunk of her time these days filling out college applications, while her dad was already beginning to miss her nearly a year before she would actually leave home. He desperately wanted to find a way to hold on to his most cherished memories of her. To do this, Barry decided to try creating what is called a memory palace, a metaphor for any place you know well that you can create in your mind to store anecdotes or items that you want to remember. To begin, he sat down in a comfortable chair, closed his eyes, and concentrated on imagining his daughter's childhood bedroom, where he would conjure 5 of her favorite childhood books. From that time, place each one someplace there and create unforgettable associations based on some aspect of the stories so he would never forget them. This was the most nostalgic place Barry could think of because there were few times he enjoyed more in his entire life than those enchanted evenings reading Zoe bedtime stories until she was 12 years old. His daughter tucked into bed, hanging on his every word, as he relished bringing the dead words on the page to life like some kind of necromancer. His performances weren't Oscar-worthy, but he won the only award that truly mattered. It was called the Zoe, and it was named after his daughter. And it was given every night with the following words: "Just one more story? Please? Please, Dad?" If it worked, he would return again and again with additional memories and sentimental objects from different periods of her life until there was no vacancy in his palace. Barry began concentrating deeply and to his amazement was instantly transported there. The first book that magically appeared in his hand was the classic story Goodnight Moon, written by Margaret Wise Brown and illustrated by Clement Hurd, that features a bunny saying good night to various objects before bedtime. Looking outside her window, Barry recreated the moment in the iconic 1902 French short film Le Voyage dans la Lune by Georges Méliès, in which the space capsule lands in the moon's left eye. He knew he would never forget that image. When Zoe was old enough, she would repeat each line that he read, wishing good night to the cow jumping over the moon, the light, and the red balloon in that tiny, sweet 2-year-old voice. Next, he transformed the tall floor lamp into the city traffic light that Peter whirled around in the book Whistle for Willie by Ezra Jack Keats, about a young boy who is so eager to whistle for the first time to call his dog. Barry laughed, picturing his 5-year-old daughter huffing and puffing until she could do it too. From there, he recalled a story written by Arthur Doros about Rosalba and her grandmother, her abuela. He had fond memories of Zoe repeating the Spanish phrases abuela used to teach her granddaughter on their imaginative journey, flying over the streets, sights, and sounds and people of New York. Now, Barry conjured a life-size Statue of Liberty as a reminder of Elisa Cleven's beautiful illustration of the 305-foot sculpture's crown filled with smiling tourists waving. As he turned around, he bumped into Zoe's fluffy purple faux fur saucer chair. It instantly metamorphosized into a giant violet-colored cat dressed in a dark double-breasted pinstripe suit with wide lapels and a white silk pocket square, playing a jubilant version of the standard "Now's the Time." It was the cat waiting for the iconic alto saxophonist to come home in Charlie Parker Played Bebop, written and illustrated by Chris Roshka. The picture book features swinging rhythmic text reflective of the musical style that the jazz legend helped make famous. Finally, as he approached the simple wooden door of Zoe's bedroom, it miraculously morphed into the brass-gated, manually operated elevator, complete with a mahogany interior that was the fictional playground of Eloise, the precocious, imaginative, and mischievous 6-year-old sophisticate of Kay Thompson and Hilary Knight's children's book about a little girl who lived with her nanny, her dog, and her turtle at the Plaza Hotel in Manhattan in the 1950s. Zoe could spend hours looking at that book because it's so many things. Unbelievable, deeply touching, slightly disturbing, kinda heartbreaking, absolutely hilarious, utterly obnoxious, and then ultimately endearing. Barry stepped over to the bed and lied down for a moment. He remembered how Zoe initially hated reading until she finished a Nancy Drew mystery completely on her own. After that, she began to devour books at an astonishing speed, and she's never stopped. Sometimes after dinner, she'll read something like German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche's Thus Spoke Zarathustra out loud from the couch in their living room, often making fun of his highbrow, aphoristic writing style, or more likely, select passages from her beloved Iliad, Homer's ancient Greek epic poem set during the Trojan War. Barry had realized how everything had come full circle. Now his daughter read to him, and although she doesn't know it, when she finishes reciting out loud, in his head he shouts, "Just one more, please." This Memory Palace experiment was a complete success. He felt a massive weight lift off of his shoulders. He closed his eyes and quickly fell asleep. In what felt like a moment later, he could hear his daughter's voice calling his name. "Dad! Dad! Dad!" He opened his eyes, and Zoe was standing next to him in his bedroom. She said, "I'm sorry to wake you, but I was just thinking about something while writing my essay about foreign service in my application for Georgetown." Then Zoe asked him something that took him by complete surprise. She said, "When I'm older and living someplace far away, do you promise that you'll come visit and read stories to me at bedtime like you used to?" He said, "You can count on it."
Thanks very much, Barry. And now, before we wrap it up, let's throw it back to Rowan, who's the creator and director of the Madison Reading Project.
We hope you've enjoyed the show. Thank you so much to our poets and spoken word artists. Thank you to 1055 Triple M for hosting our show. And thank you to our sponsors. If you'd like to learn more about Madison Reading Project, check out our website, madisonreadingproject.com.
Rowan, thank you so much, and thank you for inviting me to be the host. What's that? I'm never allowed back here? I'm not surprised. This is a fundraiser for the Madison Reading Project. There's still time to donate. And in fact, again, if you're watching this later and it's not live, you can still donate. So please do. Want to thank our sponsors, Old Sugar Distillery, Steve's Wine, Beer, and Spirits, Star Liquor, and Alvarado Real Estate Group. And now, in the words of the one and only Aaron Rodgers.
I'll have a glass of scotch and chill out a little bit.
Good night, everybody.
1055 Triple M, the sound of Madison.